Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here from Squatch, America.
And Hannah, very tired and sleepy domestic goddess in the paddy wagon.
You slept well last night.
I have just been really tired the last couple days. You know what I think it is? I think we're lower, we're closer to sea level, change in pressure.
Oh, maybe.
Just a little bit. I'm loving it though.
Yes. We'll be actually talking about where we're at, but we moved. We're out of the internet hole.
We are back to the land of blazing hot internet.
We are. We have smoking internet here, so we're good. So we're back live after 2 episodes I had to pre-record it, and literally it took
like 4 hours.
4 hours to upload a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
Where we were at.
However, an interesting phenomenon, I mentioned it in the chat already, those pre-recorded episodes got more views than the live episodes do. And I don't mean the live in the moment views, but later on.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we noticed is that our lives are an hour long. And those pre-recorded ones were 30, 35 minutes long. So I've already asked a question. You can drop your answers in the chat. Do you prefer live or pre-recorded? And my next question, do you prefer 30 minutes or an hour? So I'll put that in the chat and you can give us your answers.
Yeah. So while she's doing that, let's talk about the meme of the week. Turns out the Sasquatch I thought I had filmed was actually Bobo from that show Finding Bigfoot. He said he forgot to shave.
I love Bobo. He's great.
We love Bobo. In fact, there's a picture of us up there with Bobo.
There's a lot of us in that picture up there.
Yeah, I know. We were a lot heavier back then. That was about a year and a half ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay. So
that was the Oregon Bigfoot Festival in 2019.
It was, yeah. So yeah, Bobo's a pretty
He's a decent fella.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, but he's a pretty tall dude. I'm 6'3", and he's probably got an inch or two on me, height wise. So he's about Sasquatch size.
Baby Sasquatch.
Baby Sasquatch.
Yeah. So hey, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let us know who's out there. I was accused on Facebook. Well, we were accused on Facebook this week of flapping our gums too much.
Yeah, flapping our gums too much.
I think I might try to not talk this episode.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It would be like Lucille Ball not being funny.
I know. That's hilarious. All right. And the reason we talk so much at the beginning is to give people time to get on, because the notification comes up, hey, they're live, and it takes people a little bit of time to, get the popcorn and the
adult
coffee
beverages.
And the adult beverages to sit down to be able to take us for an hour.
And in the middle of the show, the reason we talk so much is we realize that we've got 25 minutes left and we're already done.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I asked, 60 or half an hour. What do you want?
So, hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
So,
quick shout out for Nana's Sweet Treats. If anybody needs homemade baked goods, homemade pastries, and chocolate delicacies, please look up Nana's Sweet Treats. She's on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Nana's Sweet Treats out of Bangor, Maine. She will ship.
We'll.
I was cussed out by my sister this week for sending chocolate-covered cherries and peanut butter balls.
Yes.
It was great.
And Denise, you know our address, right?
No, you do not know our address. I put in another order for Valentine's Day, though.
Oh, you're sweet.
Not for you.
Oh, I hate you.
No, you don't.
You heard that, Denise, right? Okay. All right. So We have actually a pretty cool show for you tonight.
It really is. It's
really
like got
is.
some substance, this one.
It does.
Because guess what happened when we got to our place, which we will disclose in just a few minutes. We actually got a report.
We got
people contacting us. Hey, we saw your truck here. What are you doing here? As if we were huge someones. It was awesome.
I know. In fact, here's something weird. It's like for the first time, and it's probably not exactly the first time, but we had people track us down in the campground that said, they saw me walking the dog. Actually, it was a lady, and she goes, it's you.
It's Daisy May.
It's Daisy May and you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Daisy May is our moneymaker.
Yeah.
That's why that's why we have to keep her.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyway,
Denise says you have to come to Maine to get yours. That may well be the only reason why we're going back there.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's get to our presentation tonight because we got a little bit to go through. I'm so excited about this. I mean, we literally had something happen. So we're talking, this is our Bigfoot in Texas.
Part 2?
Part 2. Part dos. So we are...
just in case anyone's interested.
What?
It is official. The Texas House bill has been introduced.
Oh, yeah.
Texit is underway.
Texit is a serious thing that's for real. I thought they were joking about that, but it's actually underway.
Yep.
It's coming up to vote. Texas is going to exit. All right. So, anyway, while we're still in the state of Texas and not the republic, we are going to talk about, this is Texas Part 2. We probably have a Part 3 and maybe even a Part 4 probably.
We're going to be in Texas for a while.
We're going to be here a while, and there are lots of Squatchies in Texas. If you look at the map here, these are reports in the area. This is the area we were in.
We won't be going back there, by the way.
Yeah, because the internet hole.
It was too much of a hole.
Yeah, but it was a nice area. I mean, we loved the place.
Nice people.
Nice people.
I will say, where did we go? Bandera, Texas? That town has a great laundromat.
It does.
And let me tell you what, when you're an RVer, you don't realize when you live in a sticks and bricks, you might realize it on that occasion that your washing machine transmission goes out in the middle of a load.
Yeah.
And you're forced to go use the laundromat. But you really don't, if you have a washer and dryer at home, you do not understand how essential a decent laundromat is to happy living. And Bandera had a great laundromat. Oh,
it's just like the laundromat we went to today.
And today's really
yeah. I meant they had 2 laundromats here in the campground, and one of them was closed because they were doing some concrete work, so we had to go to the other one. The other one had one washer that worked.
And the other ones worked, but you had to have quarters. They had credit card machines on them,
but the credit card machines,
they didn't work, and the phone apps weren't set up yet, so you only could use quarters. But because of the national coin shortage,
they won't give you quarters.
So fortunately, the main laundromat on site opened today. But Bandera, back to Bandera. Bandera had an amazing laundromat, and they also had the best grocery store I have ever seen.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So, and here's what makes an awesome grocery store. One, they had all the things. They had like the produce and the normal grocery store, but it was like a small independent Western family type grocery store. But they had like all of the low calorie and the stuff that we can eat on our plan that you usually have to go to Walmart or order online to get. And they also had like buy in bulk by the pound dog treats, and all in the same aisle. What do you call this? A market that had all in the same aisle. Women's feminine hygiene, office supplies, camping, fishing, and hardware, all in the same aisle.
They even in the parking lot had those corn feeders, the deer bait corn feeders.
Yeah.
So, in a grocery store.
The best grocery store. It was called Lowe's Market
In
Bandera, Texas.
There you go.
And Bandera is somewhere I would live. Just saying.
That was cool.
And that was in our last place.
So
But
here's
now-
where we're at now. And hi, Renee. Did it change?
No, you did not change it. You need to change
there
it.
we go. Okay.
This is where we are now. We're getting closer.
We're getting closer to the big crowd. But we're in a really cool area. To be more exact, we are just outside of Conroe, Texas.
Which is just north of Houston.
We're just north of Houston.
You should show them where we were yesterday. If you look on the map, if you look across the lake, there's a town called Montgomery. That's where we picked up our groceries yesterday. And that great big body of water up in between, that is Lake Conroe. And our campground is right on Lake Conroe.
All right.
So we had to drive around the whole lake to get to my car. It was a nice drive. I'm ready to move here too. I could live here.
And aloha to the Washington State.
Oh, I'm
Hi, Phil.
sorry, Phil.
So anyway, so this is where we're at now, and we're going to talk about a couple of reports that are right here in this area. I think are coming up next. Yeah. Right here, this one, right, in fact, believe it or not, this Bigfoot is right here next to us. This report is just right down the road here.
Yeah, it's the same highway that we drove in on.
Yeah. So.
Okay, this comes to us. It's a little dated, but still. From Conroe, Texas, which is the town that we're in Montgomery County. So right here. I saw a creature standing on the top of a hill, just outside the tree line, from the chest up, looking north on I-45, watching the traffic go by. I was heading south and remember seeing a sign for entering Montgomery County and another sign that read either Boggy Creek or Beaver Creek. Not sure which one. I'm sure it was Beaver Creek.
Sure is Beaver Creek. Bobby Creek somewhere else.
Okay. But being a squatcher, Boggy Creek's going to trigger.
Yeah, it's going to trigger in your mind.
As I took my eyes off of the road sign, I noticed something standing up on the hill ahead of me, about 1,000 yards or so. It was standing upright, and the sun was shining on its red/brown hair. I thought at first that it... Are you going to talk about alleles and hair color tonight?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought... There's a funny story there, by the way. I thought at first that it might be a person standing up there, but the hair was so thick and went from the head down to the chest that I realized it probably wasn't a human. I couldn't see the details of the face, but it just stood there watching the traffic as it went by. Unfortunately, as I got closer, the hill rose up, blocking my view because the highway was carved into the hill. On the other side of the hill, I tried to look in my rearview mirror to catch another glimpse, but the angles were off, and by the time I could see the top of the hill, I was way too far away to get any details. So we got people watching Squatch.
People watching Squatch. And is this a common report? It is, actually. You get a lot of roadside Squatches. Of course, some of them are people with cutouts in their front yards, but over the years there have been reports of them being hit. There was a famous one just outside of Portland,
Maine or Oregon?
Oregon, in Troutdale area. Between Troutdale and Hood River, there's a stretch of road through the
Mount Hood National Forest.
Yeah, it's the Mount Hood National Forest, but no, the freeway. It goes through the gorge.
Yeah.
The Columbia River
I-84.
Gorge. I-84. And there's a lot of steep, like straight up and down rocks. The freeway, the river, which is a mile wide.
There's not a whole lot of standing room.
There's not a whole lot of standing room, and a Bigfoot got caught on the freeway. He must have came off the hill, been going to trying to get to the river. He had to cross the freeway to get there, and he literally ran down the freeway for about a quarter of a mile before jumping over and going down into the river.
That would be a cool video game. We could do a Bigfoot video game that's like Frogger, only
Bigfoot Frogger,
or Squatcher or something.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But that was and I met a lot of people and a police officer saw that because that's a busy freeway and it's just outside of Portland, you know, between Troutdale and the there's a tunnel
in Cascade Locks.
In Cascade Locks, you got to go through. So it was between Troutdale and Cascade Locks on the freeway there. So that's the one that's circled right here. And coming up next.
So did you want to say anything about that?
About this one?
About that? Well, you know, I mean, that's fairly consistent behavior?
That's consistent behavior of reports of Bigfoot just sitting in the woods watching people.
Bigfoot can have a variety of hair colors, just like humans can have a variety of hair colors because of the alleles.
Yep. So what did
You're just going to completely ignore that.
What did he say for color? Again?
Red or brown hair.
Red or brown. Yep. Now it's kind of interesting. That's another thing down here in the South, they
in the South, it's true.
And Hannah, oh my gosh! I mean, we were in Ace Hardware, and she was talking whoopie pies with
Denise. I was talking whoopie pies with the clerks.
With the clerks, and oh my gosh, it took Hannah about 2 seconds, and she was sounding like these Texans down here.
I can't help it. It's terrible. Oh.
Yeah, y'all ought to heard her. It was.
So here's the thing, you know, every human being has a different skill set and a different natural talent set. And one of my skills is language acquisition. I learn languages so easily. And I grew up with a New Yorker father and I would say a Midwestern mother because her parents came from the Midwest. And so, and I grew up in a highly Hispanic community, and then as a young adult, I spent time in a southern influenced part of Arizona. So, but I've always learned languages very easily. The downside of that, the upside was when I left high school, if I had wanted to go to the UN and translate, they would have let me because I was already extremely fluent in Spanish.
Yeah.
But the downside of that is that I sound like whoever I'm hanging with at the moment, and it only takes a few weeks at the most for me to sound like a native. How long did it take me in Maine to start sounding like someone that had been born and bred?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's all, you know, I grew up with a Bronx accent in my house, so yeah. And so, you know, I'm in this Ace Hardware, and we're talking about the fudge that they're trying to sell me on the counter, and all of a sudden I'm talking whoopie pies, and I sound like a Seven Bell Princess.
Yeah.
I was going, oh no.
So,
anyway,
completely off the rabbit hole, rabbit trail. Anyway, so we were talking about hair color. You wanted me to talk about hair color, but up north, and especially the Pacific Northwest, Bigfoots tend to be reported as dark black color
or
gray because they get old and turn gray. Imagine that. But down here in the South, they seem to be more brown or reddish colors.
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense to me because if we're talking about adaptation to fit into their environment,
the environment makes a lot more sense.
Deserty colors down here.
Deserty colors. You know, you got the dark forests up there. You got during the rain, ash, dark shadowy forests up there, and down here it's more open and into the reddish plains and the dirt colors, and yeah, they'd be more brown and red down here, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
So,
and it's all about the alleles. A-L-L-E-L-E-S. Alleles. Look it up.
So, our second report is up north of us right here.
In Walker County.
In Walker County, which is just up past New Waverly.
Yes. Okay. All right. Here is the witness observation.
Okay, just do it. Yeah.
I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
I'm a little unsure if this is a Bigfoot sighting or not, but it certainly freaked me out enough that I felt the urge to look into it a bit further. This happened on the county line between Walker and Montgomery counties in southeastern Texas. At the time, okay, he was commuting from College Station to Conroe. Due to the drive and the time I needed to be at work, I often left long before the sun was rising. So this is before sunup. On September 11th, I left home at about 4:30 a.m. and headed to work. The quickest but not easiest route leads through some rather empty country and parts of the Cam Houston State Forest, which borders Lake Conroe, a place that we are going to check out while we're here.
Yep.
The Sam Houston.
We were going to Sam Houston, yep.
I was on Farm to Market Road 1375, which cuts through the forest and over part of the lake. By the way, that's what FM means, Farm to Market.
Farm to Market. I did not know that.
That is
all
so
the road,
cool.
So yeah, it's kind of weird, but
it's cool.
I wondered why all the roads in Texas are FM something. That means farm to market.
Yep.
Road.
So it's the rural to the city.
The rural to the city roads.
Yep. Okay. The cutoff is approximately 15 miles from the state highway to Interstate 45, running north-south from Dallas to Houston. Halfway down the road is a bridge spanning the upper portion of the lake. We crossed that bridge.
We did.
I'm quite sure.
We did.
I just crossed that bridge headed east when I decided to pull to the side of the road. I'm a heavy coffee drinker, and for obvious reasons, the rural nature of the spot made it an easy stopping point. Guess who had to do some business? Coffee. Yeah. All right. Where I had stopped, years of fishermen have worn a path down from the roadbed to the lake's edge. I just started to step onto that path when I noticed a very heavy, musky odor. I wish now I would have made a point to stop and take another breath, but at the time I was thinking that it was just a really strange skunk odor. And I was like, I've smelled that before.
Mm-hmm.
I'd taken maybe 2 or 3 more steps when the hair on my neck literally stood on end, and to this day I swear I heard a woofing noise. Not like a dog does, but kind of like that, and as if something was telling me I was not where I needed to be. I stopped. And that is when, to my immediate right, something stood up and grabbed the branches of a small tree next to my head and began to shake it. I had left my lights on in the truck, and though they were not shining in my direction, the reflection was enough to get a general idea. It stood well over a foot taller than me and was still below me on the slope of the embankment. I'm 5'8", so I would think it was about 7 feet tall. It had dark-colored hair, a rather large head. I could not see the nose or eyes due to shadows. It had long arms, I think, and large hands. I'm a little unsure of that because I can't remember if I really looked at its hands or not. The stench was amazing, enough to make my eyes water. It began to make a squealing bark kind of noise, and in 2 or 3 strides was past me and headed for the road. I don't know why it didn't turn and head back into the forest, but it didn't. I turned to watch, and as it started across the road, a light-colored truck came around the bend, and the road headed west. I don't know if the driver saw what I did, but I can remember the red lights of the brakes shining, so he or she must have seen something. The creature moved up the hill on the other side of the road and went to the pine trees there. Got back into my truck and got the heck out of Dodge, so to speak. I've only told one other person about this because, to be honest, I don't want to look like some idiot seeing a ghost in the middle of the woods in Texas. So let's pick that one apart.
So this checks all the boxes.
From the musky, weird
the
skunk
smell,
odor.
the size, the shape, not being able to see its eyes. That's very common.
The autonomic nervous response of hair standing on the back of your neck and telling you, get the heck out of here now.
Exactly.
Been
there myself.
The woofing,
the sounds, everything.
What about that squealy bark?
Well, I've heard him whistle.
Okay.
A strange whistle, and I've heard a bark. So, I've been barked at. So, yeah, it's very credible. Very, very credible. So this, like I said, it checks all the boxes. It's got everything that's very squatchy to me in this report.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we've talked about several times is, people don't tell people about these encounters. And that's like one of the reasons we have our website, and you can give us your reports because we take you very seriously. We're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to tell you, hey, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because because these things are real, and it literally changes your whole dynamics of
how you see the world.
How you see the world when you see one of these for the first time. So.
I want to say something too about reports. In getting reports, we came to a realization, you know, the whole changing landscape of the world. Yes, we weren't able to go to cons last year, to conventions and festivals. You know, we weren't able to do that. And that was one of the obvious effects that the lockdown state of being is. However, and this is where hey Johnny, this is where we really need your help. And I have it under good authority that because I received some communication today about it. The forms on our website work. The Bigfoot reporting form, the contact form. Best ways to get a hold of us are those forms. They work. They come straight to my inbox. We have not been getting Squatch reports. Now, we were thinking, okay, well, people aren't out in the woods so much because of the lockdowns, blah, blah, blah. But we realized something picking up our groceries the other day. Where were the bulk of our reports gotten?
In parking lots.
In parking lots. Going into stores, we'd be in a store for 45 minutes. People would notice our truck, wait to see who got in the truck, and flag us down before we left.
Yeah, it happened. You would be surprised.
2 to 3 times every time we left our home.
Every time I left the home, I'd get, no matter where we're at, you know, in parking lots.
And it didn't have to be in our hometown. It could be anywhere. But
remember the lady in Leavenworth, Washington?
Leavenworth, Washington.
She followed it. She saw us pulling out of a parking lot, and she followed us around town until we got to our next stop.
Yeah.
to give us her Bigfoot report. It was awesome. People
aren't doing that. They go, they mask up, they pick up their groceries, they leave. We're not getting the in-person now we are still getting Squatch-stracted all the time. People still drive by us and see our truck, go, yeah, and they take pictures and they look us up, and sometimes they contact us on Facebook. But we're not getting the reports because people aren't talking to people anymore.
Sad.
So we really need your help. Share our website, share our Facebook page, get the word out there because, you know, people like Dale, you said that you have someone who wants to meet you and sit down and chat. Send him to the website.
And we
can start chatting now.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, I did look up William Lunsford. And
yes.
And we're actually working on trying to get them on the show in the next couple weeks. So we're
working on it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
Yep.
All right. So now we haven't even gotten to the really exciting stuff.
We haven't got the exciting part yet. So here's the new report.
This is like live from Texas this week.
Yes, live from Texas. I mean, this report is
breaking news.
Yeah, it's not weeks old
or months.
Or not months old, not years old. But days old.
Yes, this is literally breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking Bigfoot news.
Okay, so we were if you look at the map above us, we were in San Antonio. We're just north of Houston right now. We actually drove through this area on our way here. I mean, we didn't go south to, I don't know how to say it. Cuero, Texas. But this happened in Cuero, Texas just
like
a week ago.
Yep.
Less than a week ago. Actually, it was the 15th, whatever day that was. So,
okay, so 10 days ago.
10 days ago. So
2 weeks, almost 2 weeks ago. Still within the month.
So
which in the Bigfoot world is pretty new.
And so so where it's circled on the map there is where this report is took place. So this is where I'm going to talk about what we do with reports. And what we have to do with reports.
Basically, you're going to get a live report
analysis. You're going to get a live report analysis and to see what we go through when we get a report. Okay. Here we go. So here's the report. We got a picture. Does anybody see anything interesting in that picture?
It looks like the tree from The Ring. Worst movie I've ever... Well, that and Event Horizon, but those two movies... Oh. Anyway, but it does. It looks, if you put that
So
in shadows, it would, or in black and white, look like the tree from The Ring.
yeah. So first of all, just looking at this, I want to point some things out that I noticed. One, it's a big open field, but there are forests surrounding it, and I know this area because we just spent, 2 or 3 weeks in that area. So we know what the terrain's like. We know what the forest's like. It's mostly, it's very hilly. Oh my gosh, it's the hill country. They call it the hill country of
Yeah.
Texas.
It's forest and desert in the same spot.
Yeah, it's kind of forest and desert. I mean, the forest consists of juniper trees, basically.
Really thick with
Thick. I mean, thick juniper trees.
with thick juniper trees with prickly pear.
With prickly pear growing on the
everywhere.
ground underneath them. So it's you gotta fight your way through the brush, but try not to get your legs stabbed while doing it. It's not fun. So, and also I noticed there's the buildings and stuff in the background on the edge of this field. So this is like a cleared field that they use for cattle ranch grazing, because there's cows in Texas.
They're happy cows.
There's happy cows in Texas.
Happy cows do not come from California. Let me tell you, because we've lived in California and we've seen those poor, sad, pitiful creatures in California, all in the muddy, gross feedlots.
Yeah.
Happy cows come from Texas or Eastern Oregon. They're very happy in Eastern Oregon as well.
Okay, so this whole area is fairly populated, but when we were driving around the area, when you'd see, signs of places for sale, I think the smallest place we found was 40 acres. So to live out here, your nearest neighbor's a few miles away. Okay.
I live with that.
So, but here's what's in the tree.
This is so creepy.
So, a deer in a tree.
Upside down. That is not a hunter hang.
And that's not how hunters do it. To hang them, to bleed them out. We have seen this before. Here's a better shot of it. The deer close up in the tree.
So gross. This makes me want to cry. I love nature, but I love Mama Nature. We're all part of Mama Nature, but nature's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, Mother Nature's
kind of
a B word. Okay, sometimes. All right. Anyway, so nice buck too in the tree.
Some enterprising young hunter wannabe could come and capitalize on that.
But anyway, so here's the deal. Do Bigfoots put deer in tree? I can say yes. I've had numerous reports, and I've heard of numerous reports, and I've researched hundreds of stories about Bigfoot in trees. For instance, this one here is more like the ones that we saw, that the deer is across 2 limbs, 8 feet up a tree. The one I saw had not one, but 2 deer on top of each other, which makes it very, very interesting. So when you go into research something like this, you got to ask some questions. And a very interesting thing happened. I posted these photos on...
not this one.
Not this one, but the other ones on... I can go back to it. Ooh. On my Facebook page. Just to see what happens. And I do that occasionally.
Yep.
And of course you get a whole bunch of people... It's definitely Bigfoot. It's definitely a cougar. It's definitely this. It's definitely that.
It's aliens, because
it's aliens because
aliens.
Because aliens. Like my shirt. Got this at the Area 51 gift shop.
It's so funny.
Okay.
Oh, it's a great little shop too. I like it.
All right. So we want to share with you one of the comments we got, and I'm
going to shout him out.
We're going to shout him out, and I'm going to say this guy was thinking.
So, Eric John Larson, we are shouting you out.
We are shouting you out. And here's what he said.
So, before anyone starts denying things, and honestly, this picture got a lot of interaction and back and forth and stuff. How far is the deer up in the tree? How is it placed between the branches? Does it have bite marks? Why is the leg broken and not bit off? Are there any tracks of any type? How heavy is the deer? Do they have cougars around that area? How big? Any Bigfoot sightings? What are the signs of the deer being mutilated or not? Before anyone jumps to one conclusion or another, I see stuff and people want to jump to conclusions based on 3 photos. We don't know, but in order to figure it out, let's ask the person questions. So, can you answer these, please? Trying to keep it real. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Because he is helping us this is the job of a Bigfoot researcher, to keep it real.
Uh-huh.
When we don't keep it real.
What's our tagline?
Our job is to investigate the unexplained, not to explain the uninvestigated. And honestly, when people jump to conclusions and defend their opinion like a religion, that's when it dilutes the strength of the science.
It does. And
how is about that? Dilutes the strength of science.
Yes, it does.
It's like watering down your coffee. Don't do it.
So, not knowing who submitted the photos, anonymous. It was submitted. As far as we could track it down, it was submitted at some outdoor store's Facebook page. I posted it there.
And it got shared and finally
reached us. So, not being able to know or talk to the person who discovered this and took the photos, I'm going to see what we can answer of Eric's questions with just the photos.
And see where that leads us.
And do it with science with, what's the word I'm looking for, with my experience. I put it that way. Making an educated guesses.
You're going to use deductive reasoning to go through an inductive process.
Exactly. And I'm going to use all those big words.
Inductive process means you're going to ask a bunch of questions, and as you answer the questions, we're all going to form a conclusion at the end. We're not going to tell you what the answer is. You're going to figure out the answer through the questioning process.
Exactly. So, and that's what we do with archaeological digs I've been on and any type of research.
That's what our narrative research is. As we discover the behavior patterns, we ask these questions, and by answering the questions, an answer will form and present itself.
Exactly. So, without further ado, let's look at here.
All right.
We want to look at this broken leg.
Well, actually, are we not going to go in order?
Oh, we're not going to go quite in order.
Okay.
No, but we're going to see if we can check them off. Okay, that's why I printed them out so you can have them.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start with this broken leg thing. Now, that's very interesting. What's interesting is where it is broken. Now, we have a video about broken bones. You can search it. I might try to put a card in here somewhere later. But the video on the bones that were found in California, that I still have in a drawer here, by the way. We talked about how bones are broken and what they look like. So this bone here is broken in a very interesting place. It's at a joint, and
it's at the ankle.
Yeah, and it looks like the skin is, in this photo, it looks like the skin is peeled back. Now, through Bigfoot investigations and stories and reports that I've seen over the years, most broken legs, like we hear Bigfoot chasing down deer and breaking their legs to cripple them, to stop them running, because a Bigfoot is as fast as a deer. Most 99.99% of the time, people tell stories about them breaking the deer's leg up towards the top of the leg, not down at the bottom, like from there to there. Not up here, but down there. Okay? So this one's broken down low, not up high where it should have been. I think I just said that backwards. Sorry. So we'll get back to that in a sec. But another thing I noticed in this photo is there's something looks a little weird and ruffled around the neck area here of this deer. So in the next photo, we got the opposite view. So you see the legs broken better, the better break of the leg on this side. I know. But if you look closely at the throat, it is totally ripped out from this angle.
So there's something like mutilation right there.
So, yeah.
And he asks about mutilation. Are there any signs of mutilation?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes. There's the signs of mutilation right there. The legs.
There you go. You got it. Aliens.
Gotta be. No. So, and another thing, if we look at the other photo, it didn't go there. The far away photo of where the deer is in the tree, we see a natural ramp in the tree, where something would have been able to drag that deer up that tree. Okay?
So there's a natural plane of access.
There's a natural plane of access to where that deer is and how it's placed in that crook of the tree, where it'll stay. All right?
So right there, we've ticked off three things. We've ticked off, first of all, actually, how far is the deer up the tree? The deer is, it's up the tree. It's still at a very stable part of the tree. It's not really all that high.
No.
It's probably, that looks like it's a probably good 6-7 feet up. There's a natural plane of ascent to that spot. It's not placed like it was placed with hands. It was like more like, it looks, because of that, you can't see me do that, but it's a natural place where you could drag it up. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Why do you think the leg's broken? I mean, to me, that looks like a break that would happen while running.
It could have happened while running.
Based on the placement.
Or it could have got broke being drug up a tree.
It could have been.
It might have got caught and drugged.
And the mutilated neck is pretty telling.
It's pretty telling. So, the next question he asks is, how big is the deer? Now, that's one I can answer.
Because we're in Texas.
We're in Texas, and in the campground where we were
for 2 weeks,
it was full of deer.
Really insolent, mouthy deer, by the way.
They wanted your picnic basket.
They were deerists.
Yeah, like terrorists, but deer. So, I was in front of our camper. This is literally in front of our camper. And I had my phone. So these deer are, head height is probably my waist. So they're about 3 feet on the top of their head, maybe 2.5 feet. And they're pretty small, like this little buck here.
Pretty pissed off that we didn't have corn for them.
Yeah.
Look at that eye. Where's the corn? Where's the food?
So these deer are fairly small.
Yeah.
They are minuscule compared to the deer I'm used to, because I'm from the Pacific Northwest. We have mule deer.
They will take out your car.
Not these little tiny.
These are like deer midgets.
This is like what we call coastal deer in Oregon, but I don't know if they call them that here. They're whitetail, but they're tiny whitetail.
They're not going to feed a whole lot of people.
No. So they're not much bigger than my dog, actually. In fact, our old Rottweiler dog was probably bigger than most of these deer. So they're not very big. So I'm guessing that this is the same type of white-tailed deer that's up this tree.
So we're looking at maybe, I don't know, 150 pounds. Maybe.
Maybe.
They're pretty scrawny. They're like
Yeah, maybe
California
100,
deer.
yeah, maybe 100 pounds. They are not very big.
They
So,
think they're big.
yeah,
They
but
think they're all that.
but so with the neck being torn out, the leg broken way down by the ankle, and having it been drug up a tree, I can come to a conclusion, but not. I would say I will.
It's
My
not.
theory would be
But this is not a Bigfoot
this
kill.
is not a Bigfoot kill. My theory would be that this is a what they call a puma down here. By the way, I found out. Further east down south, they call them panthers. Where I'm from, we call them cougars. Up north,
Basically, the
all
larger.
the same, yeah, all the same species of very large cat.
Yep. Bobcat.
That's not a bobcat.
Oh, no, bobcats are
Bobcats
smaller.
are smaller. It's a
Okay.
cougar.
It's a cougar.
Yeah. At least what down here they call them pumas.
And pumas and cougars and all that, that's a natural predator for this kind of ranchy area.
yeah, and the deer. So, if I had to venture a guess, an educated guess, I would guess that this was not a Bigfoot kill because of where the leg was broken and the throat being ripped out.
Yeah.
The deer we found in a tree, where I found two of them, had 0 puncture marks on it. It had a broken neck and not grabbed by the throat. A panther or a puma or cougar, as they call them.
Mountain lion.
Or mountain lion. There's another one. Thank you very much, Johnny.
That's what I was, when I said bobcat, that's what I was thinking was mountain lion.
They literally grab the animal by the throat and squeeze its windpipe and suffocate it. That's how they killed him. That's how they do it. So seeing the throat ripped out of this is almost, a signature.
Gordon says, if he's not mistaken, the black jaguar has been spotted in the hill country area too. Interesting.
Yeah, true.
Black jaguars, black panthers.
We're not that far off. I mean, no, I'm serious. I mean,
I thought they were kind of mythical. I didn't think Bagheera really existed.
Oh, they do. That's a real thing. Jaguars, black jaguars.
Okay.
You can still see their spots through the black.
Oh, did not know that. Okay, all right. Bagheera.
Yeah, no, jaguars, quite possible because, they're in Mexico.
All right. So,
believe it or not, we've worked on Aztec and Mayan archaeological digs in New Mexico, almost in Colorado.
Yep.
That far north. So if the natives from down there can reach here, why not?
So can the animals.
We found carcasses of parrots in New Mexico.
So basically,
2,000-year-old carcass.
Back in jars, yes, like mummies.
Yeah.
Parrot mummies.
Uh-huh.
Because parrots would have it no other way. We know parrots too.
Yeah.
They're mouthy things who think they own the world. So back to our picture. As a Bigfooter, we'd love to say this is obviously, it's got to be a Bigfoot, but
the signs and the evidence, just by the photos alone.
And answering the questions that Eric posed.
Yes.
Not a Bigfoot kill.
Not a Bigfoot
More than
kill.
likely.
More than likely. Now, see, this photo, there's some things here that are pretty off. Like, of course, we can't tell if the throat was ripped out because it's just a skeletal carcass, or, with a little hair left on it. But this is 8 feet up a tree now, and this is a mule deer, which
those are 300-400 pounds.
Those are 300 or 400 pounds, and can a mountain lion pull that straight up a tree, not at an angle like what we saw the other tree. You know how this tree had the angle on it in order to drag it up, but this is straight up.
And the way it's draped.
Can it carry it straight up and drape it over two limbs like that? This gets a little more confusing. This, would I say that's definitely a Bigfoot, or would I say definitely a mountain lion killed? No, I can't say either way. But the other one, I meant this one, if I was a betting man, I'd say it was a mountain lion kill. And they do drag them up trees, you know, and we know for a fact jaguars do. So it could be a jaguar kill.
We know for a fact that house cats drag their kill up
a tree. Yeah.
So if the house cats do it.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So thank you again, Eric, for bringing the scientific method, as much as we could do with pictures alone. Thank you for bringing the scientific method back into the discussion.
Yep. So perfect. And now I'm going to have to go look for jaguars in Texas.
Awesome. I think it's awesome.
I know.
I like big kitties.
And while we were in our last place in San Antonio area, we got a not a Bigfoot report. We got a chupacabra report.
Oh yeah.
So
we gotta look for chupacabras.
We're gonna look for chupacabras.
The guy said that there are chupacabra reports all the time, but people don't know what they are.
People see them all the time, but they just don't know what they are. So they don't get reported so much. So with that said, do you have a Bigfoot report in Texas?
Put it on the website.
Put it on the website. Go to squatchamerica.com and throw that on there.
The very first thing you come to. By the way, just so you know, we did make contact with Bunker Branding. We have paid for them to do mock-ups for a new shirt for us. They aren't ready yet.
Right. They're working on it.
They're working on it. So we do have the same old store. You can get branded merch from them, but we are slowly going to build our store through our branded merchandise store through Bunker Branding, piece by piece. It's a little more costly to do it that way, but you'll be getting a higher quality product, and you'll be Bunker Branding. Come on.
Yeah, and if you don't know what Bunker Branding is, there is a YouTube, look up Demolition Ranch, that YouTube channel. He started his own t-shirt company.
Yep.
And, you know, he's a fun guy. In fact,
oh yeah, that's something else in our last campground.
Yeah, in our last campground, we took, it's so funny. His show is about, Demolition Ranch is about just basically taking things out in the woods and shooting them.
Blowing things up.
And blowing things up.
It's a guy channel.
It's a guy channel. So, but I've been watching him for years. So, when we were out in the campground one day, we heard all these gunshots going off.
Like machine guns.
And then I heard some automatic weapons fire, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, who even owns automatic weapons, and who can afford to buy ammo these days, or who even can find ammo for automatic weapons these days, you know? So I thought it was kind of funny, and then 2 days later, Demolition Ranch come out with their latest video of them shooting automatic weapons.
It's exactly the same sound.
And I'm like, oh, that was them, because we weren't, like I said, we were right there where their store was. We were in the same area where they're
Bourne, Texas.
In Bourne, Texas, where they're from. So we actually heard them making a video. It was kind of funny. Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But anyway, so just so you know, we are in process until the Bunker Branding stuff is up. You can still buy your branded merchandise, Buy a hat. These hats are so cool.
Yeah, and we're going to, and actually we're working with another company that we've worked with before who has Bigfoot merchandise, and that may be coming soon too.
Yep. So
Okay.
we're going to be expanding what we offer. And isn't Demolition Ranch Hickok's 45's nephew?
I don't think he is. I think they're friends, but I don't think it's his nephew. So, anyway.
Craig, in 1971, Craig spent a while in Fort Hood, Texas.
Fort Hood.
I will say,
He must
everyone,
have been a tanker.
I am liking Texas a lot. I
Yep.
feel very at home. I feel, when we drove into this area, it's like almost immediate. It's like, I could live here without even having been to the campground. It's like, I could totally live
we
here.
are going to be in this area. We're going to be going out and exploring for the next couple weeks.
Several months, even.
Yeah. So we're here for the next few weeks where the circle is.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going north.
Then we're going to go north into the big thicket area where all the Squatchies are.
And we may have a pre-recorded something there, but we are going to be in the motherland of squatching territory, which of course is Fouke, Arkansas.
Yeah, Fouke, Arkansas. So,
we're even
well, thank you for your service, Craig.
Yes.
Even though if you were drafted, I understand completely.
Yeah.
I was in the Army too, so I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. For basic.
Johnny said, yes, Hickok on one video made him clean up his shooting range.
Yeah.
Clean up your range, you slob.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like someone of a wiser generation talking to today's crew.
Today's crew. So, here's the other pitch real quick.
And I'll bet he told Mayor. All right, so Patreon, support us on Patreon.
Yeah,
we are working on that. Honestly, it does take a while to get things going. And this is the videography guy of the team, but I do everything else. I'm the social media, and I have got my own blog and online business and social media channels to manage. And I'm still learning how to manage Patreon, but we do have 2 tiers. You're free to join them. And we're getting more ideas every day on how we can actually have some really awesome value-added content. So go to patreon.com and support us with the price of a cup of coffee a month.
All right, so
that was the pitch.
So good night, everybody. We actually filled our time tonight.
Like with real stuff.
With real stuff. Oh my gosh, we're getting better at this.
Our job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
So as always, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate your support. Please let us know. Do you prefer live, or would you rather have like a video premiere, pre-recorded premiere with some chatting alongside of it? And what's better for you, 30 minutes or 60 minutes? So
we might do a poll. We'll put up a poll here.
We can put up a poll on YouTube.
Yes, I know.
That's we'll put up a poll on this YouTube channel. We'll put one up on Facebook, and we'll see what the masses have to say. By the way, Johnny, we are staying warm. It's like 70 degrees here. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it was 94 the day we got here. So.
It's not.
Yes, it was. Right now it is.
It was
74 degrees.
It was 94 with the sun shining down on the heat sensor.
Yeah, so it's 74 degrees right now. All right, at 8 o'clock at night. Just letting you know. So.
But thanks for watching, and keep it squatchy.
And go out and find Bigfoot.
Bye.
Bye.